Hello and welcome to the 2020 River City Open here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We've got first round front nine coverage. We've got a couple of hosers commentary. Myself, Jeremy Koling, joined by my buddy, the almost birthday boy, Thomas Gilbert.
Yeah.
And we are here first round of a 3-round event playing at Riverside Park. And there is the man,
Here we are.
the crushing legend, Thomas Gilbert.
Give a little glasses tip there.
Of course. And it was actually Andrew's birthday. Was it actually on the first round?
Yeah, it was on the first round.
And I believe Andrew from Alpena, Michigan just turned 24. And this is the local legend, Kyle Klein, 18-year-old kid.
Looking casual as ever.
Yeah. And the touring pro, 2-time Disc Golf Pro Tour and reigning champion, Chris Dickerson. He's got over a 50% win ratio. He's got
Incredible.
130 wins.
That's absolutely insane.
I mean, to be fair, a couple of them are an amateur, like several of them, but obviously he is going to be a major factor in this event as well as the rest of this card. And hole 1 is a par 5, 901 feet. It is a reachable par 5. It definitely is one that we could see an eagle.
Yeah, here I got my destroyer just a little bit low off the drive. We had a bit of a headwind, so I wanted to kind of cut it underneath, but just not well executed.
And Kyle's turning this one over, and look at that. It's pushing even more and got a little bit of that thrower angle.
Yeah.
But it's going to be in the middle, just probably 70 feet short of the ideal landing zone to try to get there into.
Andy making a similar mistake to mine, just throwing a little bit low, going to get a similar cut roll to Kyle.
Yeah, none of these drives are really what you'd expect for this opening hole. Pretty wide open. There is OB left. It's probably the biggest danger on this hole, and Dickerson wants nothing to do with that left side OB, and he turns this one over to the right.
Honestly, this was a little bit scary of the right side OB. There is that sidewalk / bike lane there that is definitely in his mind.
And this is an opportunity to potentially go over the top, but you like to go low. I guess as far out of position, you really know way to get to the pin from that far back.
Yeah.
That's a good effort. That's clean down the middle, 450 laced. And Marwede going with the forehand. This is just a safe play to play for the easy 4.
Yeah, this is his destroyer. He feels super comfortable with this disc. I was talking about that a little bit. And just hangs it out at that left side OB and then swings it back to the right. Great shot.
Yeah, and you can definitely get in trouble if you try to go for that big shot going for the green and 2. You can get in trouble if it's too high, swinging the disc out of bounds left. But Kyle in a good spot. He can see the pin, and this one just never got... He's still waiting to release it.
And then this was a really tricky angle from Chris. He could only see the very top around that, so he's going huge Annie.
Oh my gosh, that is such a dangerous shot.
And he pays the price.
Oh,
Trickling.
And it goes out of bounds. That is such a dangerous attempt.
He thought he had actually overturned it and had it cut roll OB, but no, it was just hung it a little too high and wide and trickled down to the OB. Whoa, big hyzer.
Having to go out high and wide. I don't know if this has enough to get all the way back to the pin. No, it's caught up in one of the last trees, and that'll most likely be a par for Kyle.
Chris left with a 150-foot approach or so, just throwing his PA3.
And Chris, as confident of a putter as he is, I wonder if in his mind he's thinking, try to run that and try to save the 4. This 4 is a relatively easy score to get on this hole.
Definitely.
You definitely feel like you've left one out there on the course if you take a 5 on it.
And I luckily got far enough up there on my second shot that I just have this jump putt approach. Wanted to try to give it a bit more of a run than that, but I'm happy with a nice tap-in birdie on hole 1. Kyle, a little step putt approach, just nice and underneath the basket.
And Marwede, that's a nice tester putt to get your tournament started, and leaving that one short. That is a very common miss on the first hole of the event when you haven't gotten to that groove yet. Dickerson able to save his par.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting to take a stroke with a birdie. I was thinking eagle to try to get a stroke.
Oh, wow, yeah. I guess
yeah.
the whole card is taking fives except for this tap in here. One down through one. And I feel like a player with your power, anyone who can throw 550 plus feet, taking a 4 on this one is okay. It doesn't feel bad, but it definitely, the eagle opportunity looms right there in front of you.
Oh, for sure.
But all clean through the first one and on to hole 2. Par 3, 248 feet, and just dead straight to these 2 trees here. The only real problem is that initial gap, and if you go too far past the basket here, you have a really tricky short putt. But for most players, this is going to be a bit of an ace run.
Definitely. I have my Luster P2, just trying to give it a soft little hyzer, let it drift back.
Oh, and that's pulled a little bit too much. Never mind. That's a nice tree direction.
Oh, definitely.
Right to the pin. That'll be a tap in for 2 through 2.
Kyle with the brand new Sensei, trying to give it a bit of an ace run.
And are you serious? Wow. Anything you can do, I won't say better because it wasn't closer to the pin, but almost better. And Marwede maybe trying to join the party. Nope, just going to do it the normal way.
That looked so good from the pad. I was curious of how close it actually came.
And Dickerson going the same PA3, hanging this one a bit wider.
Yeah, it's had just too much glide. Kind of snuck underneath those hedges in the background.
And he's going to be tested here with about 23 feet, but super low ceiling. Wow, look at the work the cameraman does to get behind there. Get the player footage. That is very nice.
That was
putt.
a great putt. Here we just got some tap-in birdies to clean up this hole. Really want to get this one, so I'm sure Chris is glad to pick up that birdie from a tricky position.
And on to hole 3, par 3, 325 feet, and the play for most of the righties is going to be the big hyzer out and around this big, huge tree. The other play could potentially be just a straight fairway driver, low ceiling. There's enough ceiling there that you could get a fast disc, but this is going to be the overwhelmingly predominant play, and this just never got high enough.
No.
It needs to get down in bounds. There is OB right there along the street.
Yeah, just wide open space up there. Really, that's a pretty poor mistake to make. See if Kyle can make the correction.
And nope. Correction was not made, and that's a huge kick left. That came backwards quite a ways. And look at this sidearm line from Marwede. This opens up a nice low ceiling shot.
And this requires a lot of power. I would say this is like a 400 plus shot.
And he's going hyzer with a forehand. That is a very ambitious attempt. Not quite getting around all the way, but catching the last outer limbs of that tree and dropping to about 40 feet.
I believe Chris is going to take that up the middle play just with a low laser fairway driver.
And I like this if it gets edge at all. And that grass is quite thick, but still a nice attempt from Chris. Kyle's left with a little bit of a tricky approach. Oh, no. And big danger of a bogey here on the third hole. And are you thinking maybe run this? Are you trying to make this shot?
I'm just trying to cut right in front of that tree there.
Oh, wow.
It did get pretty close, but yeah, I was just making sure to keep it close.
That's your pig, right?
That is my pig.
Yeah. I like the play there as Kyle tries to save his par. Unfortunately, drifts a bit right, but that overstable putter is nice because you can give it a good solid bid and it doesn't go too far past.
Yeah, especially that R-Pro plastic, just super sticky.
And Marwede, a little bit of trouble on the green so far. He's missed 2 putts low in the first 3. And Dickerson makes good. He is 2 down.
So solid.
One of the best parts of Chris's game, obviously, is his consistency around the greens.
That was a nice centered putt there by Kyle. You're just trying to tap in. We go on to the next hole. This is a really big birdie fest. start to this round. You want to be 5 down or 6 down through the first 6 or 7 holes.
Yeah, definitely it does start off with a lot of birdies early. The course definitely gets trickier on the back 9, but the front 9 is so important to get those birdies. Hole 4 is a par 4, 616 feet. Backhand turnover and roller are 2 really good plays off the tee, and try to just get down as far as you can. It's quasi-eagleable.
Yeah, I would say if you get a good drive, definitely putting some shots up there in putting range in practice.
And Dickerson's going right up the middle, fading right the whole way. This is looking really good.
That was just an amazing shot with his T2.
And that puts him in, that bonus range, that 70-foot jump putt, maybe a little bit longer, but that's definitely something we've seen him knock down before.
Yeah. I'm trying to get left of this tree and then with Annie, turning it. It's a pretty unstable disc, so I'm just trusting out there. I want to get that a little bit higher just to get a little bit more of that pan and extra glide, but that's still a great shot.
And there is OB left. You can see a couple of those orange flags. And this is a very late release for Andrew, and he's kicked right, and that's going to be well out of position for the birdie. See if he can find some ways up to the pin from there.
Looks like Kyle with his DD3. This is one of his favorites. You'll see him be throwing this a lot throughout the round. Just pulls a little bit to the right and gets knocked down, but he should have look at his up and down for birdie.
I always found that playing on your home courses is one of the most difficult things to do, just with all your expectations, all the times you've played the park before. As Marwede pulls his forehand a little bit too far to the left, and that'll be a long putt for the birdie. Marwede is the reigning champion of this event, and you actually won it 2 years ago.
Yes.
Your first A-tier win, if I'm not wrong.
That is correct. Yeah, a big win for myself. Looking to repeat that this year.
Yeah, and a little bit too much sauce there as Klein has gone to about 30 feet long, but a good approach.
Then Chris just with his little pitch up here. He was trying to give that a soft little floaty run, I believe. We were talking about trying to our most comfortable putter for this type of distance, and I was trying to give us a little bit of a run too, but just pulled it a little bit wide, but still.
And that's your aviar. That's not your pig there.
Yeah, that is my big beat aviar.
Are we trying to make something happen from distance? A good line.
Tickling that left side chain.
And this would be a good putt for Kyle to get his round started. Par through the first 3, and that's high, and that's in.
Oh, yeah.
See if that can build some momentum for the young local. And
that was an impressively little tricky putt. He went with like the push putt from underneath the branch and got a nice catch high in the chains.
A good par save, and you and Chris will tap in your birdies. One of the easier holes in the course, just because there's really not much as far as danger early on. Birdie that you really feel like you got to get. One of the hardest holes in the course, actually, I believe the #1 handicap of the day is right here. Hole 5, par 4, 832 feet, a big, huge hyzer over the baseball field. OB left the whole way in the high grass. Anything that's in the woods there on the left is out of bounds. And then it's usually, unless you really get a hold of your drive, it's a somewhat blind approach around those trees on the backside of the green.
Yeah, you just play a high shot, nice and overstable, knowing that it'll cut in front of the fence. Chris does that very well there.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're looking for. So I don't think he'll be able to see the pin from there, though. It's just tucked around that rough, just around a little bit to the left.
I'm trying to cop a bit more distance here, pushing a Star Destroyer out on a lot of hyzer, really high.
Oh, wow.
And I was a little scared at that moment, but
that is ideal.
Oh, yeah.
And I think you might be able to see the pin.
I was able to see the pin.
Yeah, that's a good place to be. Allow you to get your bearings on your distance just a little bit better. And this is a little bit tighter, but still looking really nice. Low, driven shot from Kyle.
And that's in a good position as well.
Mm-hmm.
Pin just tucked to the left of that tree, but he'll have a shot.
Yeah, on a windier day, this hole would be a little bit more unnerving, just not quite knowing how tight you need to keep it. That OB is blind around the corner, so a lot of times you throw it up high and you're just kind of hoping that it gets down to the ground quick, but the conditions in round one are just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Marwede, after his nice tee shot, he'll be first on the approaches.
I thought this was hung a little too far to the right, but it actually ended up really, really nice.
A great result. 24 feet, we'll call it.
Chris going with that fairway driver again, pushing it nice and straight and hyzering back in right to the basket.
Oh, that's perfect. Great shot from Chris. That'll be a tap-in birdie.
Mm-hmm. I believe this is Kyle's PD2. He's looking to go high and spiky up and around the tree.
Yeah, just a little bit wider, and he could go maybe a flatter line at it, but forced to go that big spike hyzer. Not that that's a problem for Kyle. A play that he likes to go with. And
I got my Cayman here, and I saw these first couple shots, and I thought Chris was actually outside circle long. So I was trying to just play it around this tree, kind of cut in front of it, and leave myself outside the circle.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just a poor attempt.
You can see the trees blowing around a little bit. We had little pockets of wind, but nothing too sustained.
I don't know if you ever feel like this, but my first 4 putts on the first 4 holes were all like around that 12 to 15 foot range.
Yeah.
So that was like the first
tester.
real putt that I had
Sure.
of the day. And so I definitely felt like a silly boy for giving it such a poor run.
Oh,
But everyone's nice and in for their birdies. I think Chris is about to tap in his birdie, and then I'll have my cleanup for the par.
good work for the card going 3 down in this hole. Definitely a hole you could get in danger with the tee shot, and some approaches were definitely left and short, like yours, and found out of bounds. But just a par, no worse, not too bad. Hole 6, par 4, 694 feet. The gap is actually to the right of this tree here. That's going to be the main gap these players are going to be trying to go for. Trying to nestle somewhere around this range here, which is about 250 feet left to the pin. That stump is actually so big that it becomes kind of a blind approach in a lot of places to get to this pin. Out of bounds left, again, all in this high grass. And this is a bit high, a bit turned, but still really, really good.
Gosh.
Wow, okay. That's using the whole fairway to get to a great spot, but Chris will definitely have a slightly blind approach with that big stump there.
Kyle again with that green DD3, that forest green, flexing it out to the right and then just coming back in.
I love that line, and not as far as Chris's, but it looked more ideal out of the hand.
Definitely. Andrew going a bit higher.
Yeah.
But sneaks through.
Oh, yeah. And a very similar result, except that tree definitely will be playing. Yeah, I don't know if it will be in his way, but it's close. If he was any farther right, it would definitely be a bit obnoxious. And that
is a slightly early release, but it's flattening out.
Not a bad place to be, really.
No.
Got away with one.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, that tree is really nowhere in Marwede's way, as he's going with his 2016 Sexton Firebird, I believe.
Mm-hmm. I think this was one of the more beat-up ones.
Mm-hmm.
And here I got the P2. I was talking to Chris Dickerson about this, and we were saying this is about 300-foot shot, but after I threw this, not convinced it was 300 feet.
Oh, no. You were definitely not 300 feet. Unfortunately, that has gone out of bounds long.
Yeah.
And Kyle's chipping up short with a good thick grass check up. And look at this drive from Dickerson, man. Almost almost jump putt range, but not quite.
Yeah.
Got to give it a little bit of a throw. And making good work of that approach.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that large stump kind of messes with your. Ooh, that was a good putt there.
Nice par save.
Thanks. But it definitely hurts your depth perception, I think, not being able to see the pole from that distance away.
Anytime you can't see how high the basket is off the ground, whether that's some obstacle that's blocking the base, or if it's a hillside or something that just you cannot see the whole basket, it totally plays. That is a great course designing tool to use to really play tricks on the approaches. And to your point that you were talking about on the last hole, I think best case scenario is you leave yourself a 30-foot putt on the first hole and you make it and you get that first putt out of the way and you get some sort of confidence to lead into the rest of the round. But now you have that first 30-foot putt.
Yeah, definitely.
Hole 7 is a par 3, 377 feet, and the play really is a big forehand out wide here, hyzering through that last gap and just swinging in. There is an OB sidewalk left, but really shouldn't come into play for any of these guys.
Here's Chris's sidearm. Left it a bit short, but that'll play. Here we go with Kyle throwing the hyzer up and around. And this looked really good.
Oh, wow.
We thought that was giving a run.
And Kyle has been all over the basket in practice rounds. He's been hitting chains from everywhere. So I would not have been surprised to see that at least draw some metal. I'm not going to call it an ace.
Yes.
There's no way we could say that. But we could certainly say it would have caught some metal.
Yeah.
And this is your forehand hung out wide.
I had a little slip on the tee pad there. My front foot just shifted forward and kind of took some power off of my sidearm, but still left with a just outside circle putt.
And Chris a bit low.
Yeah.
As you can see, the active park goers, they're out here and walking their dogs, and Marwede
just banging putts.
Making putts.
Looks like we might have missed my putt there, but
Looks like you might have missed your putt.
I missed
there.
my putt. I definitely missed my putt, and I'll have a 15-footer coming back.
And this is for 4 straight birdies for Kyle after the slow start. His first his second 2 of the round. He got a 2 on hole 2. But a good birdie to get. This is if it's right there in front of you. You can see the basket so clear. It doesn't seem like it's that far, but it just for whatever reason plays a little bit trickier than you think it should for the distance that it is.
And with that being my 4th par in a row, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel the pressure.
Sure.
I know this is the hot stretch where you need to be shooting lights out, and I'm definitely feeling it off pace.
And hole 8, par 3, 367 feet. Another forehand play, very similar to the last hole. You essentially, if you throw a great shot in the last hole, you can do the same thing again if you threw forehand. Unfortunately, Kyle went back in, so he's going to have to draw up a new shot, and this is looking fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Getting a great skip just to the backside of the circle there.
That is a quality forehand, driven low. A good skip on this high grass is a nice thing to see from the tee box, and you know it's helping you out. And Marwede going a little bit higher line, but this is swinging in really nice. Oh yeah.
What a good shot. Chris going sidearm as well.
Electing to go with the natural tees. You can see the flags on this course gives the tee shot just a little bit more room on either side if you prefer the natural tee to the concrete. And Chris has a nice drive.
Here I got my Sexton Firebird. Just trying to throw it out there flat and just push it a little too straight. Doesn't quite hyzer back, but I'll have about a 40-foot putt here for birdie.
And this would be a good putt to knock down after the last 4 holes with pars. Oh, that could not have been closer to going in. That is a heartbreak. That looks so good out of the hand.
It felt good.
And Chris, off right.
Yeah.
Not an easy putt necessarily. You just see him make that putt so often. And Kyle is officially on fire now with 5 straight.
That was a great putt. Just to the right of the pole, right where you want to hit it. Here's Chris, just for his cleanup left. I mean, I'm sure you've said it before, but Chris really has a routine that he sticks to.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's 15 feet, doesn't matter if it's 10 feet, doesn't matter if it's 45 feet. He goes through his routine and he sticks to it, and that is why he is so robotic with that.
Yeah, it allows him to not have any differentiation in his mind between a C tier and a national tour or a major. Every putt has the same value, and that's just one stroke. And to have that consistency is an incredible thing to have as a player. And hole 9, 315 feet. There you see, right up the middle. Just a beautiful park course at Riverside Park.
Yeah.
And look at this flex play from Kyle. I like this. But
yeah, that's his
he
glow
is
up D3.
crushed this shot. Oh my word.
Yeah, he said that it flies a lot like an eagle, so a bit straighter of a fairway driver, and it just held that ante for him a little longer than he thought.
And Marwede's showing off the forehand powers. He's going hyzer all the way. A little bit of a 15-foot refund as it kicks back to the edge of the circle.
And Chris going sidearm as well. I didn't not really think about this play too much in practice because the flags weren't out yet, but this is a great play.
I guess so.
Skipping it up into the circle.
Wow.
So here I have my Glow Rock 3. Just going to try to throw it straight at the basket the entire way. Heading for that tree, but
maybe get another tree kick to the basket. Not this time,
no,
but just park it anyways.
Yeah.
And Kyle with a step putt. Oh, yeah. Come on.
Just set.
Oh, yes.
Little rewind, crew view.
Yeah.
Oh, and he just knows it.
Uh-huh.
Super confident putt there by Kyle.
And keeping that fire lit. Marwede now. He's got a little bit of a stretch. 4 or 5 straight birdies for Marwede at this point.
Dickerson solid, and then got my 20-footer left for the star frame. Ooh, thank God.
Star frame complete. Thomas will be donating $25 to me for the star frame. That'll conclude the front 9 as we have 3 players shooting 26, a 6 down front. Thomas, you shot a 28, so 4 down front. Certainly not out of it, but need to pick things up on the back 9. Well, we'll pick up first round back 9 footage in a moment. Thank you so much for tuning in.